So today we're gonna cook our Galette de Rois.
Perfect piece of puff pastry with the layers and a nice almond cream in the middle.
8 raw eggs. We have 500 grams of fine almond flour and 50 grams of regular wheat flour, 500 grams of sugar, 500 grams of butter, 2 lemons, of which we're going to use the juice from one and the zest from both of them. Then we have 10 grams of really good brandy.
We'll start mixing it together, and we start with the butter. That should be room temperature, so very soft.
So here we just are slowly mixing in the almond flour. The 50 grams of flour you can mix in using the machine, but it's best to just use the scraper here to gently mix in, so you don't beat out all the air of the whipped butter and sugar. The start of this cream, especially when mixing, it might look like it's separating a little bit, but that's really not an issue. As long as it keeps together as it does now, it will be perfectly fine to bake. The brandy. Just a quick mix. We're gonna keep on mixing, especially for the lemon again. So the zest of the lemon is what's gonna give the zing of the cream. So it's gonna give that balance between the heavy sweetness from the almonds and from the sugar and the butter. So we just use the grater here to make sure we don't drop any seeds from the lemon. Make sure you mix in the lemon juice very well, because the acidity of the lemon juice might split your mix here. So this is optional. In the end, we have, is it 100 grams of almond splits? We are adding this to give the pastry a little bit of a crunchiness. Yes, exactly. So that's the last thing we're gonna add. And now we're gonna put it into a piping bag so it's easier to work with when building our Galette de Rois. Let's start building the Galette de Rois, or the Galette Parisienne?
Galette Parisienne.
Galette Parisienne.
We don't need any fat because of the puff pastry is filled up with delicious butter. If you want to do a little party trick that we do in France, you will place a little Flair. There's a little porcelain figure that you put into the cream before you put the lid on. And the one to find it get a crown and is the king of the day.
Oh, nice.
And we have to brush a little again, but we are using egg yolks. You can use whole eggs, but the yellow color is gonna do something very pretty for the cake. Just poke a little hole to make sure that all the steam can exit from the cake, so it not breaks. And we are going for a little traditional pattern. Now it's ready for the oven. But if you have the time, you can let it rest in the fridge for half an hour. So it sets a little more, and you make sure that it not break that easily in the oven. And it's more even.
Okay, great. So start off this here. So, perfect piece of puff pastry with the layers and the nice almond cream in the middle, and a very nicely cooked bottom as well, actually. So, if you're interested in having a less like rustique look of your galette d'oie, it is possible to use a pastry roller and just roll your pastry before cooking. You know, give it a little bit of a squeeze so you kill some of the ability to rise. That's also what the resting in the refrigerator after you've built your galette d'oie will do for you. It will make it rise less during the cooking. But you know, using the Invoq oven, of course, we want to show the ability for the oven to rise the puff pastry perfectly, and doing that beautiful glaze on top.